Good morning, America. Deadly rampage in a Michigan church, bracing for a tropical storm. And the Super Bowl halftime show is set. Mass shooting and arson attack.
We have an active shooter at the church and PD's on scene saying the building is also on fire.
At least 4 people killed in a Mormon church.
We got children inside too.
A gunman rammed his truck through the front doors, opened fire at hundreds of people during Sunday services. This morning, we're on the scene. What we know about the 40-year-old suspect, a former Marine, as we hear from some of the survivors.
Tracking a major hurricane and a tropical storm expected to strengthen. States of emergency in the Carolinas, hammering the Bahamas overnight. Plus, the search and rescue after deadly flooding in the Southwest.
Oh my God!
Ginger is following it all closely.
Shutdown showdown. With a Wednesday deadline looming, President Trump set to meet with Democratic leaders. What's at stake? As the president warns there will be others, following his pressure campaign to bring charges against former FBI Director James Comey.
Carnival crash. The frightening moments when a ride at a school fair malfunctioned, one of the carriages detaching.
Dropping out.
Despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign.
The major shakeup in America's largest city, with the election less than 5 weeks away. Mayor Adams ends his bid. President Trump pushed for a smaller field. Now what Adams is saying about his rivals.
Stepping into old age.
Wow. That was way more difficult than I expected it to be.
The high-tech way to understand what being elderly really feels like. What Will Reeve learned when he suited up.
All right. That's all I can handle.
In the rough. A raucous Ryder Cup. Fans taunting Rory McIlroy. More police officers added to the course to protect players. And Team Europe victorious.
Europe pulls off one of the biggest upsets on U.S. soil. Retains the Ryder Cup.
Mercury rising.
And the Phoenix Mercury are headed back to the WNBA Finals.
Phoenix knocking off Minnesota, while the Indiana Fever push the Las Vegas Aces to the limit. Plus, a Sunday night overtime thriller.
And this one is good.
The Packers and Cowboys going down to the final second. And the bad news overnight that was oh so good. Global superstar Bad Bunny headlining the Super Bowl 60 halftime show.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Monday. Good morning, America.
I was asking, never mind. Yeah.
We are looking forward to Bad Bunny at the halftime show, and we hope your week is off to a good start.
Oh, he's going to be great. He's going to be great. Also had the new warning from the CEO of Walmart about AI and the future of work. And we have the latest on Dolly Parton's reason behind delaying her upcoming Las Vegas residency.
Also those tropical threats right now. Let's take a look at Tropical Storm Imelda and Hurricane Humberto from space. Ginger and Whit Johnson are standing by in the Carolinas, where both governors have declared states of emergency.
We have you covered, but we're going to begin with the shooting that took the lives of at least 4 people at a church in Michigan. Several others were wounded as officials say the attacker rammed his vehicle into the house of worship and then set the building on fire. We're learning more about the 40-year-old suspect who died after exchanging gunfire with police. Alex Perez is on the scene for us in Grand Blanc, Michigan with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Robin. Still a lot of unanswered questions here. You can see behind me, authorities have been here through the night. The first calls to 911 came in just as Sunday service was underway.
This morning, federal and local authorities urgently investigating the mass shooting and fire that engulfed the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Sunday in Grand Blanc, Michigan.
We have an active shooter at the church and PD's on scene saying the building is also on fire.
Investigators say 4 people were killed and at least 8 others injured.
I can confirm at this time that the FBI is now leading the investigation and is investigating this as an act of targeted violence.
Authorities say the suspect, a 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, rammed this pickup truck through the church's front doors. Then, armed with an assault rifle, opened fire at hundreds of congregants packed inside for Sunday services.
We got children inside too.
The first calls to 911 at 10:25 a.m.
Just saw a guy with a gun and he started opening fire at everybody.
Paul Kirby ran outside after hearing a loud boom.
I'm sure it'll hit me later tonight, just how close I was to possibly dying. Once I got with my family, gave them a big hug, and it's just the fear of losing them was extremely difficult.
One survivor, still in his blood-stained shirt, telling our ABC affiliate WXYZ the suspect was wearing camouflage and shot at his car as he tried to flee.
He pointed his gun at our car and fired 3 shots. 2 of them went through our windshield and just missed me, and luckily everybody else.
Police say the suspect also set the building on fire, plumes of black smoke filling the sky. And investigators say they located suspected explosive devices linked to the suspect as well, teams working to safely clear the heavily damaged building.
We do believe that we will find additional victims once we have that scene secure.
The terror lasting an agonizing 8 minutes until authorities shot and killed the gunman, who officials say was a former Marine and an Iraq War veteran. A spokesperson for the LDS Church telling ABC News places of worship are meant to be sanctuaries of peacemaking, prayer, and connection. We pray for peace and healing for all involved.
Our church is gone. I joined the church 38 years ago to see somebody would do this to my church.
And all this comes at an already difficult time for the church. Their president, Russell Nelson, died on Saturday. He was 101 years old. The church members believe he was also a prophet. So this is an all-around tough time for this church community. George?
Alex Perez, thanks. We return now to severe weather on both sides of the country. At least 3 people are dead following flooding in Arizona. East Coast bracing for Tropical Storm Imelda. Whit Johnson is in Charleston, South Carolina. Good morning, Whit.
George, good morning. We are still under a state of emergency here in South Carolina, but officials are breathing a sigh of relief with Imelda now expected to turn away from the coast. Across the country, though, in Arizona, a very different story as deadly flash floods rip through communities.
Oh my God!
This morning, search and rescue efforts underway in Arizona after these devastating flash floods left at least 3 people dead. On Friday, waters sweeping through the city of Globe.
Yeah, look at that car, it's floating, right?
The fast-moving floods submerging cars and washing away more than 1,000 fuel tanks from a distribution facility. Authorities now warning they could explode. Entire businesses wiped out. Paul Kempton says he's lost everything.
It's about 3 inches full of mud and water about halfway up the wall, and all the equipment has been underwater. So it looks like a complete loss.
This as the U.S. braces for impacts from Tropical Storm Imelda hammering the Bahamas overnight. Now states of emergency declared in the Carolinas.
Pray and hope for the best and prepare for the worst. We know that we're going to have high winds. We know that we're going to have a lot of water.
Coastal cities facing potential flash flood threats. Rough surf already impacting beaches in Florida.
And here in South Carolina, the governor says he does not anticipate any mandatory evacuation orders, but officials are still warning of heavy rain, potential flooding, and dangerous rip currents. Robin?
Have to heed those warnings. All right, Whit, thank you. Ginger is tracking the tropical threat and joins us from Wrightsville Beach in North Carolina. Good morning to you, Ginger.
So, Robin, we've got 2 to 3 foot waves now behind me, but we could triple that by tomorrow night and Wednesday, and that's where most of the impact from these storms is going to be out in the ocean, thankfully. So let's look at the satellite, because it's not every day you get to see 2 tropical cyclones right next to each other, like 650 miles apart. But Humberto is going to turn and move west of Bermuda, kick up some big high surf and rip currents, of course, up and down the East Coast. But it's Imelda that we've been watching so carefully. It's now in the northern Bahamas. It will be headed north today, but then take a hard right turn thanks to a big high pressure system moving in, the stationary front, and we kind of time it out here for you because the only impacts aside from in the ocean would be some tropical rains along that stationary front. Now North and South Carolina are inviting that because they've got pockets of moderate drought, but look at that, by Wednesday morning it is fully turning to the east. George?
Okay, Ginger, thanks for returning now to the looming government shutdown. Congress is facing a 12:01 Wednesday morning deadline to pass a spending bill to keep the government running. President Trump set to meet with Democratic leaders at the White House as the clock is ticking down, and our senior political correspondent Rachel Scott is tracking it all. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. And the president had originally canceled a meeting with top Democrats. Now that is back on. So the first time since taking office in January, the president will be sitting down with the top 4 congressional leaders on both sides of the aisle at the White House in just a few hours. And the stakes could not be higher. We are just 2 days out from a government shutdown. Democrats say they will not agree to keep the government funded unless Republicans agree to reverse Medicaid cuts and also extend expiring Obamacare subsidies so that health insurance premiums do not rise for millions of Americans. But Republicans are calling that a non-starter, saying that has nothing to do with keeping the government funded. And the White House really trying to ramp up the pressure here, now threatening to fire not just furlough workers they say work under programs that do not align with the president's priorities. Now, of course, Republicans control both chambers of Congress. They have the House, they have the Senate, they also have the White House, but they need Democratic votes to get this done. And the two sides are still very far apart, Robin.
It does seem that way. Okay, Rachel, thank you. You're going to stay in D.C. to President Trump's campaign of retribution against his political opponents. This in the wake of the indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. The president said, quote, "There will be others." Our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, has that story for us. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, Robin. Well, President Trump has long promised to seek retribution against his political opponents. And now that charges have been brought against former FBI Director James Comey, the president is now promising there's more to come. This morning, after his pressure campaign to bring charges against former FBI Director James Comey, President Trump setting his sights on another former FBI director, Christopher Wray, who Trump himself nominated in 2017. The president overnight accusing Wray without evidence of inappropriate behavior, saying he would think the Justice Department is investigating him. Trump seeming to point to the FBI's conduct on January 6th, on social media falsely suggesting that agents were at the Capitol prior to and during the riot, acting as agitators and insurrectionists. But the Justice Department's Inspector General has already found such claims to be untrue, finding in a December 2024 report that there was no evidence that undercover agents infiltrated the crowd when the riot broke out. Current FBI Director Kash Patel backing up that conclusion, posting agents were sent into a crowd control mission. As Trump makes good on his promises of retribution, the president now says there are more indictments to come.
I think there'll be others.
The Trump Justice Department is already targeting some of the president's fiercest critics, including Comey and former National Security Advisor John Bolton, whose home and office the FBI searched last month related to allegations he possessed classified documents. Trump has long threatened to take legal action against his political opponents, but Friday it became a reality. Comey, the first to face criminal charges. The former FBI director indicted by a grand jury for allegedly lying to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. The charges brought by Trump's new hand-picked U.S. attorney, his former personal lawyer, Lindsey Halligan, who was appointed just days ago after the previous U.S. attorney, also appointed by the president, refused to go after Trump's enemies. Comey has been in Trump's crosshair for years. He blames Comey for the investigation into Russian interference in his 2016 campaign. But the former FBI director says he still has faith in the court system.
But I have great confidence in the federal judicial system, and I'm innocent. So let's have a trial and keep the faith.
But some Democrats are not as confident.
I have no faith in Donald Trump's judicial system. He has turned this judicial system to be his own political fighter, do what he wants politically, so that he tells them to go after people he doesn't like.
And we're also learning from the New York Times this morning that the DOJ has subpoenaed records related to the travel of Fulton County DA Fani Willis, the prosecutor who brought election interference charges against Trump. But the full nature of this investigation, Robin, is unclear.
And Mary, the president ordered National Guard troops to another U.S. city?
Yeah, Robin, the president over the weekend announcing that he's directed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to send troops to Portland, Oregon to fight crime there, saying he's authorized them to use, quote, full force if necessary. But the timing and scope of this is unclear, but it is raising plenty of legal questions. The Democratic governor there fighting back, saying, quote, there is no need for military troops in our city. And Oregon is now suing the Trump administration to block the federal government from deploying the National Guard to the city, Robin.
We will see what happens, Mary. Thank you, George.
Hey, Robin, thanks for turning out of the shakeup in the mayoral race here in New York. Current Mayor Eric Adams is ending his re-election bid. Aaron Katersky's tracking the story. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, George. What incredible contours to this race. Mayor Adams was indicted for corruption. Good morning, George. What incredible contours to this race. Mayor Adams was indicted for corruption, given a pass by President Trump. Now he's out of the race.
This morning, 5 weeks before the election, New York City Mayor Eric Adams is no longer seeking to hold on to his office.
Despite all we've achieved, I cannot continue my re-election campaign.
His campaign had struggled. The Trump Justice Department dropped federal corruption charges against Adams earlier this year, but the city denied his campaign public matching funds, and Adams lagged in the polls. Adams came under pressure to drop out as President Trump pushed for a smaller field, calling for just one candidate to take on progressive frontrunner Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani, a self-described democratic socialist.
We're going to have perhaps a communist mayor because it's split up. You know, if the people would get together and have one candidate, they'd have I think a pretty good chance.
Sources tell us the White House offered Adams an ambassadorship at one point to get him out of the way, believing former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo would match up better against Mamdani.
It's a politics where Donald Trump and billionaire donors are determining the actions of failed executives. We're going to show that they can't dictate the outcome of this race.
Adams did not endorse any of his rivals, but appeared to offer a warning about Mamdani.
Major change is welcome and necessary, but beware of those who claim the answer to destroy the very system we built together over generations. That is not change, that is chaos.
Now, even though Adams dropped out, the ballot is already set, so the mayor's name is going to remain on it, along with independent Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa. Both of them say they're best positioned to challenge the frontrunner, Zoran Mamdani. Robin?
All right, thanks to you. Well, we have a wild weekend in the WNBA playoffs. Rhiannon, you've got to share this with everybody.
Wow, it was a thrilling weekend indeed, Robin. Good morning. The nightcap in the desert where the Phoenix Mercury hosted the Minnesota Lynx, who came within one game of the title just last year. They were also the top seed in the playoffs, but they started Sunday without their star player, their coach, and they were in desperate need of a win to stay alive against the Phoenix Mercury. But the Mercury could not be stopped. They turned it on in the fourth quarter, going on a 19-2 run, led by star Alyssa Thomas. It followed a chaotic Game 3 on Friday night. That was crazy. Lynx star Nafisa Collier was injured, with just 21 seconds remaining, and that sent her coach, Cheryl Reese, into a rage. She had to be held back. And then during the presser, Reese said the refs were guilty of malpractice. Those were her exact words. So then she was suspended for yesterday's game.
Not the first one. Well, nor the last one to have strong words about the officiating this season. Something has to be done.
We might see some changes.
All right, the Fever. The Fever at Las Vegas.
A lot of
going
people,
to 5.
Yeah, a lot of people have underestimated the Fever. Indiana center Aaliyah Boston leading the way, scoring 17, snagging 19 rebounds in the final 20 minutes. So now, yes, we go to Game 5, Robin, tomorrow night in Vegas, 9:30 Eastern on ESPN2. A lot of people have been a little surprised by the Fever's run.
I know. We'll see what happens, but it's been exciting. Thanks you so much, Rhiannon. Coming up, Bad Bunny announced overnight as the Super Bowl halftime performer. Janae Norman is standing by with the details and the reaction.
Also had the scary video from a school carnival. A ride malfunctioned, and one of the carriages fell and crashed into another.
Plus, Will Reeve is telling us about taking a step into the future, Will.
Yeah, this was quite something. Good morning to everybody here. Imagine being able to walk in the footsteps of your future self in your 70s or 80s, experiencing what aging really feels like. I did it, and it was quite something. I'll tell you what I learned coming up.
A lot of us can learn from what you just did. All right, Will.
And when we come back, we're going to give the details on Dolly Parton delaying her Vegas residency.
Back here in GMA, Selena Gomez is married. Yes, married to Benny Blanco. The Love You Like a Love Song singer tied the knot in front of family and a star-studded guest list. We have the details of who was there, what the couple is sharing about their big day that's coming up at Pop News.
Good for them. First new at 7:30, President Trump set to meet this morning with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House. On the agenda, the war in Gaza and a possible deal for a ceasefire with Hamas and the return of hostages. Over the weekend, Netanyahu signaled an openness to a deal. It's being crafted with the president's team. Hamas says they hadn't received anything. Also, take a look at this scary moment of this carnival ride that malfunctioned. You saw the car right there crash into another one at a school event in the Los Angeles area. Some riders trapped for up to an hour. And a wild and unhappy scene at the Ryder Cup. Europe pulled out the win despite a surging comeback by the U.S. team. The unhappy part, this raucous atmosphere, a lot of less than sportsmanlike behavior from the fans and the players. Ireland's Rory McIlroy took some abuse from the New York crowd. At one point, someone at the crowd actually launched a drink towards his wife, Erica. Just ridiculous. New York State police announced an extra 20 officers on the course.
Yeah, because the Ryder Cup, yeah, you have a little extra. That went
Throwing
far
a beer
over the
at
line.
his wife?
Yeah. Oh,
no.
So over the line there. Something that we learned overnight, Bad Bunny announced as the headliner for the Super Bowl halftime show. You heard me. If you don't believe me, Janae Norman is here. She has all those details for us. Good morning, Janae.
Good morning. Yes, we are talking about Bad Bunny. He was the most streamed artist for 3 years in a row from 2020 to 2022 with nearly 19 million streams the last year. And then he was the third most streamed artist after that. He is wildly popular worldwide, and now he's taking his talents to the Super Bowl. This morning, Bad Bunny taking over football's biggest night. The three-time Grammy winner, whose real name is Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, will headline the Super Bowl 60 halftime show in February, saying in a statement, "What I'm feeling goes beyond myself. It's for those who came before me." Continuing, "This is for my people, my culture, and our history." Adding in Spanish, "Go on and tell your grandma that we'll be at the Super Bowl halftime show." Jay-Z, owner of Rock Nation, which produces the show, saying, "What Benito has done and continues to do for Puerto Rico is truly inspiring." Bad Bunny technically made his Super Bowl debut in 2020 with Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. Bad Bunny, dubbed the King of Latin Trap, is having quite the year already with a new album release, wrapping a sold-out 31-show residency in his native Puerto Rico, creating an economic boom in the process, and becoming the breakout star of the summer as waiter turned Adam Sandler's caddy in Happy Gilmore 2.
Remember the happy place I went to? Yes, you go to yours. Okay, I'll try.
Bad Bunny calling it a dream come true.
I think it's going to be a really impactful performance, especially considering his recent Puerto Rico residency, which really focused on the beauty of the traditions of his island. And I'm 100% sure he's going to be bringing that sort of representation to the stage in the Bay Area.
Anticipation has been brewing for weeks.
Our favorite person.
Fans reacting overnight.
I am so happy. I literally have chills. This is such a big win for all Latinos.
So Bad Bunny hadn't done any shows in the continental states because of concerns surrounding ICE immigration crackdown. So this very much is welcome news for so many fans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so many went to Puerto Rico to see him. Yeah, many of our staff went to Puerto Rico to see him.
Absolutely, to go see that show. And heard it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good.
Should be fun. Will's covering the football games.
Yes, sure am. Excited for the Super Bowl for sure, but to get there, you got to play the games, so we'll get to that now. Sunday was a day for football lovers. It started in Dublin, Ireland. It ended in overtime in Arlington, Texas. All eyes were on the Green Bay Packers. Micah Parsons. Dallas traded him away to the Packers just days before the season began in that shocking deal. It was quite the homecoming for him. The Packers dominating Dallas early on, but the Cowboys digging in, mounting an improbable rally to take the lead before halftime, and the two teams traded scores throughout the second half. It sent the game into overtime. It's just the second overtime this season. Remember, we have those new overtime rules where both teams get a possession no matter what. The first was in week 2. The Cowboys beat the Giants, but this time they would settle for a 40-40 tie as the Packers hit a field goal as time expired. And there's a Monday Night Football doubleheader going on. You can watch the Jets and Dolphins at ESPN at 7 Eastern, Bengals Broncos at 8 on ABC.
Did you leave out the stat that was making me laugh?
Which stat?
The second highest tie score.
Yes, it was the second. I saw George laughing. I was wondering what he was laughing. I figured I would just power through. But yeah, that's the second highest tied game ever.
I love a solid George giggle. That got you.
That is so true, Janae. Thank you both. We're going to turn now. Dolly Parton sharing news about her health. Morgan Norwood has been tracking this for us overnight. Good morning to you, Morgan.
Good morning to you, Robin. You know, when Dolly Parton makes a move, the world listens. And this time, the Queen is hitting the pause button on her big Las Vegas residency. But look, she's doing it with the same humor, the same heart that made so many fans fall in love with her in the first place.
Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living.
This morning, Dolly Parton is explaining her decision to delay her upcoming Las Vegas residency by more than 9 months, citing health challenges. In a post written with her trademark sense of humor, she says, "My doctors tell me I must have a few procedures. As I joke with them, it must be time for my 100,000-mile checkup, although it's not the usual trip to see my plastic surgeon. In all seriousness, given this, I am not going to be able to rehearse and put together the show that I want you to see, and the show that you deserve to see." The 79-year-old assuring the public she has no plans to retire, saying, "Don't worry about me quitting the business because God hasn't said anything about stopping yet, but I believe he is telling me to slow down right now." Just this year, Dolly suffered the loss of her husband of nearly 60 years. She recently explained why she keeps pushing forward.
I would rather wear out than rust out, because I think a lot of people, when they do retire, they start to rust.
And her delayed shows are now scheduled for next September, and fans say they will be ready when she is. Certainly wishing her well. I still remember your sit down with her.
Oh my
What
goodness.
a treasure.
She is. And her signature humor was on display with the remarks that she made. She is an icon, and we wish her a speedy recovery.
Well.
Yeah,
Thank you, Morgan.
Now, with a way to better understand aging by experiencing life as the elderly do. Thanks to an innovative program at MIT, Will Reeve is back. And Will, you got a sense of what your life could be 40, 50 years down the road?
Yeah, I did, Robin. I'm lucky enough to be a healthy, young, active man, but I'm fortunate to be that, but I did get the chance to feel what it would be like to be anything but that. This lab at MIT is studying aging, and it helps people develop empathy for older people. And as soon as I zipped up that suit, I immediately knew why. The slipperiness is something else in the rain.
What you're seeing here is a glimpse at what my life could look like when I'm in my 70s or 80s.
Oh, wow. You feel it immediately. Oh, now that's a real difference. Wow.
This whole getup is called Agnes, or the Age Gain Now Empathy System. And here at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology AgeLab, the goal is simple: improve the quality of life of the elderly and their caregivers.
People are living a lot longer, but many of us will have at least 1 or 2 chronic conditions, and Agnes gives you that feeling.
The team here designing Agnes to replicate the effects aging can have on our senses.
How would the general population benefit if everyone tried this out and experienced Agnes for themselves?
One of the greatest challenges that we've uncovered here at the AgeLab and elsewhere is that we really can't envision our future self. So if everyone could wear Agnes, they would be in better touch with what that future self is, and what I would hope is that they would invest in themselves physically, cognitively.
So I gave it a try.
Getting at some of the muscle loss you might start to experience. So this is closer to 20 pounds.
Sophia and Taylor from MIT helped me put on weighted vests, gloves, special shoes, and various braces and pads to mimic the strain aging puts on the body. And these goggles, which simulate changes in my vision, along with a helmet for safety.
I am Agnes. I feel completely disoriented, and I feel like my empathy and understanding of what people who are aging go through every day, it's already stepping up. I haven't even moved yet.
Now they're guiding me through a series of tasks. First up, grabbing a book off a shelf.
Wow. That was way more difficult than I expected it to be. I immediately knocked over pictures on the top of the shelf, and then I had to navigate my hand through some obstacles. And now even just holding the book is a little more, like, opening the book is more difficult than I expected it to be. I can read that, The Flamboyant Garden. But let's go to an actual page, introduction. Perhaps I truly cannot read this.
How about getting behind the wheel? Even though I'm pretty tall, I slowly get in and buckle up.
Looking at this simulation of a street, I know that there are pedestrians walking on the sidewalks. There's a car cutting across right now, but I would not if I were driving on a real road right now, I would be very nervous.
Now I'm taking Agnes out into the real world.
Love bananas.
I go to pick up some groceries. Bending down just to pick up a bag of ice from the bottom shelf is a major challenge.
All right. That's all I can handle. We're always told to respect our elders.
One of the big things is I want people not to think aging is about decline. What we have found is that younger people in particular become more patient, more empathetic, and more polite.
And in addition to fostering that empathy in the people who wear Agnes, the suit helps MIT provide insight to cities and organizations and brands to better consider daily life for an aging population. And wearing the suit was an eye-opening experience, and actually one that you have had yourself.
I'll get to that in a moment, but just more from you. What are you going to take away?
I think that I need to. I like to think of myself as an empathetic person, but I think that I need to be even more considerate of folks who are taking a little. I live in New York. I walk fast, and I need to realize that
just watching the piece makes you feel that.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And I did something similar in 2006, but I also looked the part because we had a renowned makeup artist from Hollywood, Tony Gardner, came in and made me appear to be. I was 45 at the time, now I'm 85, and I can remember walking out. We were in Times Square studio, and I remember walking out, and nobody noticed me. Like you're invisible when you're. It was stark to me.
Right.
And how you went grocery shopping. I remember going grocery shopping, and teenagers snickering, and I heard that. But I also had people that were helping me as well when I tried, because your range of motion, because I had the same thing.
The shelf,
yeah, but it was just a real eye opener. And you're going to have much more on Nightline?
I am, yes, coming up on Nightline tonight. We'll do a longer version of it and see me walk even slower as I went to the grocery store. Slipping everywhere in the rain, and you really, it opens your heart and mind, for sure.
So insightful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Will.
You got it.
Coming up, get ready to dance into the week with the one and only Lionel Richie. He is here live at our studio with stories from his new memoir that is entitled Truly. Talk about his early years with the Commodores to American Idol and so much more. Lionel.
Always brings us so much great energy. Good morning, America. It's 8 a.m. Tracking major hurricane Humberto and tropical storm Imelda expected to strengthen. States of emergency in the Carolinas, hammering the Bahamas overnight. Ginger tracking it all.
Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco are married. What we know about their star-studded wedding, as Selena's new husband writes, I married a real-life Disney princess.
Dancing with the Stars is gearing up for TikTok week.
I absolutely could not have possibly imagined that I'd be dancing a cha-cha to work from home on Dancing with the Stars.
And we're going inside the ballroom. As the stars take the For You page to center stage.
I didn't know I had a cool side until today.
And we're dancing on the ceiling. Lionel Richie is here live, talking about his new memoir and much more.
Good morning, America.
Live from ABC News headquarters in New York City, it's Monday. Good morning, America.
There is just something about his music and his songs.
And his spirit.
And his
Looking
spirit
forward
as
to talking to him. Also ahead, Tori Johnson has a Taylor Swift-themed edition of Deals and Steals. Tell us about that, Tori.
That's right, George. With her new album just days away, we've got big savings to celebrate the showgirl, including these 8-carat sparklers inspired by Taylor's stunning engagement ring.
Oh, looking forward to that, Tori. Thank you. And we have Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Narula to break down a new study on women who freeze their eggs.
First look at the top stories breaking today. We start with the latest on the tropical threats. Ginger is tracking both Tropical Storm Imelda and Hurricane Humberto. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning, George. So right here at Wrightsville Beach, the waves are only 2 to 3 feet, but by tomorrow night and Wednesday, we could triple that. The biggest impacts will be in the ocean, high risk of rip currents and high surf advisories all up and down the coast down to Florida. But look at this satellite image. It's not every day you get to see two tropical systems hanging out 650 miles away from each other. Humberto there on the right, that's going to take a twist around Bermuda to the west of Bermuda, which is good news. But It's most important to look at Imelda because that's the one about 265 miles east-southeast of Cape Canaveral at this moment over the northern Bahamas that will be taking that hard right turn away from the southeast coast. Now, that's going to happen because of a developing high-pressure system to the north. The stationary front's going to be kicking it out. We will see some tropical rains, which actually are much needed here in North and South Carolina for some moderate drought. But then by Wednesday, it's moving east. Robin?
All right, Ginger, our thanks to you. We're going to turn now to the deadly shooting at a crowded dockside bar this weekend. The suspect is facing charges this morning, and Faith Abube is in Southport, North Carolina for us. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Robin. Neighbors in the small, beautiful coastal community tell me that their sense of safety has now been jolted. And we're hoping to learn more about the victims later on today, but right now authorities say many of them were just visitors here on vacation.
This morning, authorities say a deadly mass shooting that left 3 people dead and 5 others injured at a North Carolina restaurant Saturday night was a highly premeditated attack.
Evil has come ashore in Southport, North Carolina. This is truly a devastating incident.
Dozens were packed on this deck enjoying live music in Southport near Wilmington when authorities say around 9:30, Nigel Edge pulled up on a boat armed with an assault rifle and opened fire.
Callers are advising it's coming from a subject on the boat shooting into the building from the boat.
He was, really was shooting fish in a barrel, because if you ever look out there, it's a pier, where the end is, and his boat was right out there, and there's nowhere for anybody to go.
The alleged shooter captured about 30 minutes later. Investigators say he's a self-identified veteran who told police he suffers from PTSD. Prosecutors in North Carolina now weighing the death penalty.
An Edge is expected to appear before a judge on multiple murder charges today. The governor of North Carolina is also traveling here to console this community. And George, understandably, the owners of this bar say they are heartbroken and they'll keep the doors closed indefinitely. George.
Faith Abube, thanks. Now, a wake-up call from the CEO of Walmart warning that artificial intelligence is going to reshape the company's workforce, change literally every job in the world. Chief Business Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis here with that story. Hey, Rebecca.
Yeah, George, Robin, this is jarring. Coming from the head of America's largest private employer, Walmart CEO says that this coming artificial intelligence revolution will affect every job on the planet and eliminate many in the process. Though Walmart does expect to keep the size of its global workforce steady over the next 3 years at just over 2 million employees, the nature of the jobs is going to change, according to the CEO. And you've probably had a taste of some of the change coming on the consumer side. You talk with AI chatbots online. You use AI search. You might not even realize this, but it's happening. And the changes are also happening behind the scenes as well. And Walmart is far from alone. The CEO of Ford recently predicted that AI would replace half of all white-collar workers in the U.S. According to a World Economic Forum survey of 1,000 large companies, AI is expected to create 170 million jobs across the globe over the next 5 years, offsetting an estimated 92 million jobs lost. We have already seen some of that data from earlier this year that suggested job listings for AI-specific roles more than doubled between 2023 to 2024. I see these headlines. I talk to companies every day. It is scary. It's nerve-wracking. Sure. But you can get ahead of this by starting to learn some of it yourself, becoming comfortable with at least ChatGPT and Google and all of these AI search engines.
Instead of running from it, run toward it.
You have to adopt it. And a lot of people are doing that too.
All right, Rebecca,
Thanks.
thank you. Also this morning, we are remembering Lieutenant Colonel George Hardy, the last surviving member of the legendary Tuskegee Airmen to have flown combat missions during World War II. He was just 19 at the time. Hardy completed 21 missions across Europe, later flew dozens more in both Korea and Vietnam. He retired from the military as a lieutenant colonel. George Hardy died Thursday. He was 100 years old, and he leaves a legacy of courage, resilience, and unbelievable skill.
All of those airmen.
Yep,
Thank you, Robin. Coming up on our GMA Morning Menu, Bruce Springsteen, Jeremy Allen White celebrating the New York premiere of Deliver Me from Nowhere. Those details just ahead in Pop News.
Also ahead, we're going inside the ballroom, counting down the tick-tock TikTok week on Dancing with the Stars. Rebecca's very happy about this. Got to take a look at the viral dance moves the couples are bringing to the floor.
And Stephen A. Smith is here, one of the businessmen in the business, has an opinion on just about everything. We're going to talk football and politics.
And two big guests as well, Lionel Richie, Tim Allen, both here. Look at them, side by side, right here in our little studio. That's coming up on GMA. They're the best.
We decided downtown Manhattan this morning, and Will Reeve is back with Pop News.
Sure am. Hello again, everyone. And we're going to begin with the new ABC News Studios docuseries, Death in Apartment 603, What Happened to Ellen Greenberg. The series follows the death of a 27-year-old woman whose body was found in her apartment back in 2011. Her death initially ruled a homicide before it was switched to a suicide, and the case was closed, leaving more questions than answers. And Juju Chang spoke with Ellen's parents, as well as actors and the executive producers of the series, Dakota and Elle Fanning. Take a look.
What do you think happened to your daughter?
I don't know what happened to her. It's so painful and so crushing.
We felt that it was very important to, if we could, be a part of getting answers for her family and friends and everyone that loved her, and ultimately her receiving the justice that she deserves.
Why should people watch this docuseries?
I think it's a case that it's been overlooked for too long, and so hopefully we can shed light on that story and also get to know beautiful Ellen.
An important story there, and you can stream Death in Apartment 603, What Happened to Ellen Greenberg, right now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+, and you can see more of Juju's interviews on tonight's episode of Nightline.
Wow, that's powerful.
Going to be quite powerful. Also, what'll be powerful in a different way, Bruce Springsteen's biopic, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. It made its New York debut, premiered during the Spotlight Gala at the New York Film Festival last night. The boss himself was in the house along with Jeremy Allen White there and the rest of the cast. And White told us about how it was acting as Springsteen. It was quite the experience, he said, while Springsteen was on set. Check it out.
So in the first week, it was nerve-wracking, but then over time, I got used to him being there, and I realized he wasn't there to pick me apart. He wasn't there to pick Scott apart, that he was there to support us, and ultimately he was there to give us permission to do what we wanted to do.
Yeah, it sounds like an artist supporting artists right there. Pretty great. Also great, that is Bruce Springsteen on stage performing Land of Hope and Dreams after the screening. He dedicated the song to everyone who worked on the film. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere opens in theaters nationwide October 24th. But before that, the cast will be here to sit down with us in a few weeks to tell us all about it. Really excited for that.
For him to have that performance for them like that, says a lot about the boss.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
We love the boss.
Yeah.
And we also love Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco. Congratulations are in order for them. The couple celebrating their wedding over the weekend, a special ceremony in Santa Barbara, California. Selena sharing the news and posting a simple 9/27/25 with white hearts in the caption. Both bride and groom wore custom Ralph Lauren. They celebrated at the Seacrest Nursery in California. There were 170 friends and family, which included Taylor Swift, Paul Rudd, Ed Sheeran, and, glad to hear this, Steve Martin and Martin Short, who both gave speeches at the rehearsal dinner. I bet that was moderately funny. With Swift and Sheeran speaking during the reception.
Wow.
And after the wedding, Blanco posted, quote, I married a real-life Disney princess, so a huge congrats.
Not your average wedding toast.
No, definitely not. Really stepped the game up. Amanda's going to call me, being like, who can we get?
Oh, gee, thanks a lot.
Well, yeah, if you guys want to make a toast, you're on. Okay. And finally, they're taking the For You page. I really set myself up for that one.
Yeah, you did.
Anyway, moving on. They're taking the For You page to center stage. Dancing with the Stars is gearing up for TikTok week. During tomorrow night's episode, we've got a look inside the ballroom at how the stars and the pros are prepping. Take a look.
12 couples battling it out on Dancing with the Stars for Week 3's TikTok night.
We're going to have to teach Val some TikTok tricks.
Yes, I'm very excited.
The contestants performing to some of the biggest trending songs on TikTok. Fifth Harmony singer Lauren Jauregui dancing to one of her own hits.
I absolutely could not have possibly imagined that I'd be dancing a cha-cha to work from home on Dancing with the Stars.
It's super important for me to paint Lauren as her own individual person. But a song like this on TikTok night, I feel like if we're gonna do it, we gotta do it.
And after tangoing his way into the judges' hearts, comedian Andy Richter and pro Emma taking their followers along for the ride.
Emma, on our first date, she's like, we're gonna do a cha-cha first, and we're gonna do at least 2 or 3 TikToks a day.
I said I have a strict schedule,
Yes.
okay? You know, this is what we're gonna do. And
Yes, like vitamins.
Exactly.
You know, we do TikTok. You know I can be fun.
Hilaria Baldwin sharing some behind the scenes.
The song we're doing is Shake It to the Max.
Because we're going to shake it to the max.
Yeah.
Pro Whitney giving the fans more of what they want. Frontrunner Robert Irwin.
We are dancing a salsa to $1 Million Baby. And we're going to see some cool guy Robert in this one.
Cool guy Robert.
Yeah,
so
that's what we're calling it.
We are going to be getting a little bit more edgy.
So who will be an internet sensation?
Tune in and vote.
And who will say goodbye to the ballroom?
Good morning, America. It's us, Clem and Hilaria, and we can't wait for TikTok Week.
Okay, neither can we. Don't scroll past this week's episode. Dancing with the Stars airs tomorrow night, 8 Eastern on ABC, and Disney Plus streams next day on Hulu. That's Pop
That's right. Don't scroll past it.
No.
Thank you, Will. I got it. We have a GMA health alert now. A new study finds that fewer women who freeze eggs are returning to actually use them. Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. Tara Narula is going to join us. You got to break this one down for us.
Yes, well, this was one of the largest studies to look at trends in egg freezing using data from all over the United States. And they found that between 2014 and 2021, the number of women who chose to freeze their eggs quadrupled, so going from about 4,000 to 16,000. The age on average dropped from about 36 to 34.9. But one of the most interesting findings, Robin, is that when they looked over the 7-year follow-up period, only about 5.7% ended up going back and retrieving the eggs to use them. So really low numbers are actually using the eggs. Those women who did go back were women who tended to freeze their eggs at older ages, so that 38 to 42 age range. The women who were least likely to retrieve the eggs, those who were under 30. When they looked at the success of live births from these frozen eggs, they were comparable to the fresh embryos used in IVF, which is great news. And about 78% of the eggs, when thawed, were usable or essentially viable for the fertility. And one other interesting thing that, again, goes along with IVF is that generally the live birth rates tended to be higher in younger women. So those under 35, about 43% live birth rates compared to women over 42, about 3%. So again, focusing on younger age, tending to see live birth rates more often.
So is more time needed to know the reasons why?
Yeah, this study didn't really look at the reasons why. We can hypothesize that we do know that women want to take more control over their reproductive and fertility planning in terms of careers, taking time for that, education, waiting to meet the right partner or a mate. But we definitely need more research to look at the why. We do know, though, that trend we really saw jump after 2012 of women increasing freezing their eggs. 2012 is really that time when egg freezing changed from being experimental to non-experimental. And so, you know, this was originally used for cancer treatment, so people who want to preserve fertility, and now we've seen this jump. But for a lot of women, the cost is really still prohibitive. It's about $15,000 on average to do egg freezing, and then you have to account in for storage of the eggs and potentially IVF in the future. But a lot of companies covering this now.
Yeah, but you have to take all of that into account.
Correct.
All right, Dr. Narula, thank you as always. George?
Okay, Robin, thank you. It's a big morning about sports and politics. So guess who's here? Stephen A. Smith of ESPN. Welcome, good to see you.
Good to see you, man. How you doing?
She's got this great new political show called Straight Shooter on Sirius XM every Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Likely going to be dealing with a government shutdown on Wednesday.
I believe so. They're having a meeting today, Trump and, you know, the Dems or what have you. But I saw Chuck Schumer on TV yesterday, and it's given every indication everything's going to be performative. That, you know, one side's going to blame the other. Nothing's going to get done before Wednesday's deadline, and there ultimately will be a government shutdown.
Pretty serious differences.
It's definitely serious differences, and there's been no negotiating going on. Both sides are blaming the other, and that's a problem once again with our politics. You have individuals that are sent on Capitol Hill that are doing everything but serving the American people the way they're supposed to, and unfortunately, you know, ultimately it'll get resolved. I don't think anybody doubts that, but there usually involves a lot of pomp and circumstance, and to some degree a lot of suffering on behalf of the American people, and that's what the problem is.
And here in New York, your hometown, Mayor Eric Adams dropped his re-election campaign.
Right.
What do you think that'll mean going forward for those who are still in the race?
Well, first of all, Curtis Sliwa should drop out as well, because obviously he has no chance of winning. This comes down to Mamdani and Andrew Cuomo. And a lot of people look at Mayor Eric Adams and they felt like he should have dropped out a lot sooner. Had he dropped out a lot sooner, it would have given Andrew Cuomo some more time to gain some more traction, even though he still has an outside chance and he's received a bump. It was only like a 9% bump, if I remember correctly, a 9-point bump, because he's still significantly behind by about 18 points or so to Mamdani. You know, New Yorkers like him. And they're having a problem with Cuomo because of his past situations or what have you. He's been out there pounding the pavement, but he's going to have to do it significantly more. And he's going to have to stop being a nice guy and really go after him the way that he normally was known for going after folks in the past.
I think that's going to happen?
I think he has to. I think that Andrew Cuomo has been entirely too timid to compare to what he has been, because I think he's been plagued himself by the past. And because of that, he's been moving methodically, but I think you've got to stomp, not tiptoe. And if you're going to have a shot to beat Mamdani, you're going to have to go after him, and you're going to have to paint a clear and vivid picture of what he believes New York is going to be if a Democratic socialist is running the city.
Let's turn to football. Only 6 undefeated. There are only 2 undefeated teams left.
Yeah.
It's the Bills and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Is that the Super Bowl?
I don't know about that, because the Detroit Lions are coming. They've scored 90 points in the last 2 games. Actually about 120 considering yesterday's victory over the Cleveland Browns. The Detroit Lions are not a joke. They've got all worldwide receivers, running backs, a quarterback that's been to a Super Bowl before, a coach that has changed the culture. You can't ignore what he brings to the table. And I think that the Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles appear on a collision course in the NFC. And that's a pick-em game right there. In terms of the AFC, obviously, you see the Bills, they're undefeated. The Baltimore Ravens have dropped off, but the Kansas City Chiefs won a big game yesterday. Why was that so big, guys? Because Xavier Worthy came back. They've been injured. They haven't had 2 of their primary weapons available for Patrick Mahomes, and as a result, that put a lot more pressure on the other guys to produce, and they just need that additional help. Once they come back healthy, they got one of their guys back yesterday. They're expecting another guy in the next 2 weeks who's been suspended for the first 6 games of the season. He's about to be back. And once that happens, Patrick Mahomes will have all his weapons. And you don't count Patrick Mahomes out, a 3-time Super Bowl champion who's been in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls.
They've definitely righted the ship. And tonight we've got a Monday Night Football doubleheader. We start with the Jets and Dolphins, and then the Bengals and Broncos. What do you make of tonight's game?
Well, first of all, condolences to the viewers out there that have to watch the Jets and the Dolphins.
But you do have to watch. It's on ESPN.
It is on ESPN. It is on ESPN. That's true. Obviously, we do a great job of covering football. It ain't our fault about how those 2 teams looked. The Miami Dolphins are allergic to playing in weather below 50 degrees. The New York Jets inexplicably can't get anything right. They've missed the playoffs the last 14 years. And so somebody's got to win a game tonight, and we'll see what happens with that one.
All right. Only have a little time left. What's your take on Bad Bunny?
I think it's a brilliant move by Jay-Z, who's obviously in charge of providing halftime entertainment for the Super Bowl. This guy's incredibly popular, #1 in streaming on Spotify over the last 3 years, a global iconic figure in the streaming stratosphere. This guy's the real deal, and obviously he has global appeal. In the times that we're living in, for Jay-Z to come up with this as the act for Super Bowl halftime performance, I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I think the world, considering the NFL is trying to attract itself to the world, games in Berlin, games in Brazil, games in France and England and London and what have you, they're trying to have global appeal because they already have America on lockdown. I think this is a strong, strong way to go. Brilliant move by Jay-Z.
Thanks for coming in, Stephen A. Big games tonight, Jets, Dolphins, 7 Eastern, Bengals, Broncos at 8 here on ABC. And, of course, Stephen's First Take every morning on ESPN. Lionel Richie's coming up.
Welcome back to GMA, live from New York City.
Did you see everybody here in the studio? All of a sudden I look up and everybody's here. Why? Because we are with one of our favorite people, Lionel Richie.
All right.
Grammy, Oscar winner, sold more than 125 million albums worldwide. And now he has written, I'm telling y'all, it is a beautiful, beautiful memoir.
So sweet.
Appropriately titled, Truly. It is so good to have you back here in the studio with us.
Thank you. And by the way, this has been a journey.
Oh.
And the real
test is to have me at 8 o'clock in the morning try to remember what I did in that book. How could you do this to me?
That's the test. He is not a morning person.
I am not a morning person.
No. And I'm going to see you at 8 p.m. tonight.
Tonight.
We have a town hall.
I am so excited.
We're going to
about
get tired of seeing each other.
No, never get tired.
Let's talk about the book, because I've known you for so long.
You could actually tell me about the book in a lot of cases.
No. But I've never known you to be this open about, yes, talking about the fun stuff and the painful stuff, but I want to talk about the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Tell people how you all came up with the name Commodores.
It was the silliest thing possible, because everyone, of course, as you can imagine, walked in the door with an idea for a song, or for a title of the group. And of course, we could not figure it out, and nobody liked the other one, so let's take a dictionary, look in the thing. Well, we had commode, comma, everything close to comma. So it was Michael Gilbert, thank God, he took charge of this thing and said, okay, forget about it. We're the Commodores. That's the end of it. But we started out in a tragic area. We were going down the wrong road.
So you just open up and just...
Well, we tried to be inventive about something.
Yeah.
And it was a silly moment, because was this going to be for the rest of our lives? Heck no.
Yeah.
But then, as time went on, it became very serious, and so the Commodores stuck forever. It was great, though.
We're all shaped by those early experiences in our career. How did the Commodores shape you?
Oh, well, let me tell you how they shaped me. I actually discovered Lionel Richie. I had no idea about being a songwriter. I had no idea about being a lead singer. Me standing on a stage singing to a group of people, are you kidding me? I was as shy as, painfully shy. So to have 5 other guys out on stage saying, Lionel, bend over and kiss the girl on the front row. And my answer was, I don't know the girl on the front row, because I came from the Southern family where unless you know somebody, don't go near that. Well, the answer was, all of my antics and all of my personality actually came out.
How did you all find each other?
You're talking about
us?
No.
Is that in the book?
No, the Commodores. How y'all?
That scared me for a moment. Yeah, no, you know what? We were all freshmen on the campus.
Yeah.
Tuskegee University. And we started out as a group called the Mystics. And there was a group ahead of us called the Jays. That was the seniors. And the seniors were about to break up because they're graduating. Well, the guy, Michael Gilbert, decided he saw something in 4 or 5 of the guys in the Mystics. And we all got a phone call from Michael saying, I want you to come by and let's talk about putting a group together. And it was his idea of putting the Commodores together. And the rest of that is massive history.
Yeah,
But it was 3 to 4 guys out of the Mystics that he chose.
And you're so beautiful in how you write about that and how you really give him honor in that. But the thing that people really were surprised by that you can't read music.
Well, it wasn't that I couldn't read it. I couldn't read it properly. So let me explain to you what that is. What's that thing called ADD, ADHD?
Yeah.
Well, how I saw notes was because tracking is a part of the reading process. So I couldn't track it properly. So I found out as time went on, Smokey, Marvin, McCartney, Berry Gordy, they don't read. They are writers, they're major writers. And once you get the concept that can you hear it? If you can hear it, you can do it. And so the thing was, you have a tape recorder? At that time, they were about this big, But the point was, if you can hum it, you can write a song.
Right. You mentioned a lot of legends right there. You worked with another one, Quincy Jones.
Oh, my God. Well, Quincy spent his entire life with me saying one thing over and over again. Every time I would write a song, he goes, you're lying about reading music, because no one can write what you're writing and not know how to read music. And it wasn't until I got to Hello. Now, the chord structure is difficult, and the melody line going across the chord structure is super difficult. So he kept thinking I was using that as a wonderful ploy and excuse. But truthfully, he was my mentor of life. Everything that I thought was going to be terrifying, and he just kept saying, stand up there and do this thing, man. You know what you're doing. And as time went on, 1-hit record, 2-hit record, and of course I'll give praise to James Carmichael, who was there with me when I was writing these songs. You have to have someone that pushes you forward. And because, you know what, all artists are egotistical maniacs with inferiority complexes.
Nice combination.
Yeah, so we think we know everything, but at the same time, somebody has to push you forward.
And for the 9th season, you're the one on American Idol that you're doing that.
I have to.
Yeah, but you're hugging them.
You know what I found? What was missing back when we were trying out? We didn't get the hug. And so these kids are coming in. I mean, I came in with 5 other guys. These kids are coming in by themselves.
Yeah.
And they're singing a cappella. So what you're watching is the lip is shaking, the hand's shaking. We don't need to scare them anymore. And then when you find out, well, I'm homeless. My family's homeless. Or, so I keep saying, tell me about your mom and dad.
You want to bring out their best.
Yeah, and so you realize their story is not like that. They're overcoming a lot of the traps of life that normally would kill any other person as far as enthusiasm. So my job is to inspire. So I'm Papa Richie, and it's always the blessing if we can impart on these kids that they feel better about being on the show than losing. It's not that. It took a lot of guts to show up.
Absolutely.
It did.
Thank you for coming in early this morning.
How about that? Thank you for having me.
Early like Sunday morning.
Lionel's Memoir truly comes out tomorrow. And if you want the chance to audition for Lionel and the rest of the American Idol judges, this is your last week to sign up.
Ooh.
I like that.
Go to AmericanIdol.com for more information.
Now with Deals and Steals, Taylor's edition. Tori Johnson is here with great products inspired by Taylor Swift for every era of our lives, right?
Yes. Okay, so we're starting with you and I are wearing them. I am so obsessed with these, as is everyone who sees them on me. You can rock an 8-carat cushion cut stunner like that you see right there, modeled after that stunner engagement ring that Taylor's wearing there. But if you don't have a Travis in your life, Elena was saying these are like dinner rings. This is like you can celebrate fun, friendship, joy, dinner. Like, who doesn't want to rock just a beautiful ring? It's got so much sparkle. It's set in sterling silver. You can get either the rhodium plated or the 14-karat gold plated. And then we have a big variety of tennis necklaces, earrings, bracelets, all inspired by the superstar showgirls style, all up to 83% off, plus free shipping from Sterling Forever.
I can see something there in your eye.
Yes,
what
you
is
see
that?
a little glitter in my eyes.
Yes.
So this is Phase It. Last year at a Chiefs game, Taylor wore their little sparkle freckle patches, put this small business on the map. They became a viral sensation. I know that Amber is going to love these. I think she's in her Taylor era. And you know what I love about Sparkle? Sparkle, this is joy. Sparkle and joy are ageless. So be the cool granny, be the cool auntie. You know, this isn't just for the kids, but if you want to be super cool, think ahead because stocking stuffers, this is a fun one. But you know what? People are wearing these to run marathons, to game day, just for fun. 50% off. Each pack is $8.
We're going to the movie on Friday, so yes.
Yeah, I know who's going to be decked out.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
the red.
Yes, the red. Butter London makes it easy to get any of Taylor's styles, from nails to lips. They make really phenomenal products that have good for your skin ingredients. So nail strengthening on chip resistant on the nail polish, and then the lip glosses, lip liners. No matter the style, but if you want to go for that red, they make a really, really good red. But all of their products are terrific. All 50% off today, $3 to $18.
Oh my gosh, you cannot.
You know what though?
That.
I want to give can I give a shout out though right here? Do you see this? So our graphics team, Felix Thu, made this. The Tory era of the copying a Taylor poster, and it's so fun. So our graphics team is extraordinary.
I love that.
Okay,
these are extraordinary.
They are extraordinary. So here's the cool thing about Cushion Air. They're all about comfort first, but they happen to be fashion forward, trendy. We've got literally all the styles that Taylor has been seen wearing, but the best part about these is that there's really great comfort in every single step. So you can get height without killing your feet and your legs. They look fabulous on. My personal favorite though, it's not a tailor, I wore them to a Backstreet Boys concert. Those little biscuit suede sneakers right in front there. Got so many compliments. They're really fabulous. So is everything here. All Slash and Heft starts at $30.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, so this is really fun. So you get 3 bags in one on this. So I just saw the other day Alex Earl post a bag where she was holding with this little bracelet piece, but you can take this little thing off and then you're left with this hobo style bag, and this little bag you could wear. Taylor was seen wearing a bag just like this, but then it also comes with the crossbody strap so that you can wear it crossbody style. 3 bags in one. You get so much bag for your buck on this little one. 5 different colors. Robin, $22 with our deal. That is adorable, isn't it?
Yeah,
so cute.
And Taylor loves her hobbies.
She does love her hobbies. In the New Heights podcast, she said that she was really into painting now. So no matter your skill level, what I love about Pink Picasso is it makes it super easy for anybody to start painting because these are paint by number kits. So you get the canvas with all the little spaces filled out. It gives you the brushes and the paint pots.
Perfect.
You can make your own masterpiece. All 50% off, all ages as well.
You are a masterpiece, as always. I love what they did over there for you.
Well, I love that ring you got there.
So
yes, exactly. Felix, thank you.
And we have partnered with these companies on these fantastic products. You can get them at gmadeals.com. That QR code on the screen takes you there as well.
Coming up, we've got fellow Michigander Tim Allen in studio. I wish I was there to say hi, but he'll be talking about the new season of Shifting Gears and the show's Home Improvement reunion. Stay with us.
And we're back with Tim Allen. Shifting Gears Season 2 premieres this week. Let's take a look at a clip.
Hey, hope this isn't too weird, but I got to talk to somebody about this. Met a woman, and get this, it's Riley's boss. That's right, Riley's got a job, so I'll wait for you to roll over. We kissed, and I'm not sure what that means.
Ooh, and Tim Allen is here. Wow, we got a sense right there. Your character Matt is at a real crossroads this season.
Right. Well, this season, I keep looking at this. The crew, everybody, we're doing comedy scenes in a mausoleum. Number one, and only we would do that, and it's a switch that the producers wanted to get into when I pitched the show a long time ago. I like being grief is of interest to me anyway, that how people go through grief. And I said, if I do a new character, I'd like to have his wife has just passed and dealing with that and still be a funny guy. And the powers that be want me to get into romance. They want to see, I've done Home Improvement and Last Man Standing, to get into romance. So I meet Jenna Elfman plays the dance instructor in the studio next door to my shop, my car shop. And we ended up kissing last year. It came out of nowhere because we don't get along really, at least I thought. And so then Nancy Travis plays this friend of mine from Last Man Standing, and it was it's been real different to be honest with you. Jenna Elfman, when she gets on stage, she looks like too young for me. So I get really a little sensitive about that because I said I am at my age, and I just didn't want to play that. But
it doesn't come across like that.
Well,
at
I
all.
appreciate you saying that.
No, it doesn't at all.
I'm looking at the mirror and I go, "Who's this old guy that pretended to be me?" That's it.
You've been around.
There you go. You just kind of okay. Thanks, everybody. Good night. Thank you, Robin. Okay, that's. Wow. No, I heard what you said. Let's double down on it. Well, you've been around a while, huh? I was just a kid when you started this thing.
Well, it's been 34 years since the debut of Home Improvement. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
Okay, 34 years.
Let's,
there's a reason here, because it was like old home week.
Yeah.
In the season premiere, we saw a lot of your former castmates.
Right.
It's like riding a bike.
We did a scene where I went to grief counseling. Nancy Travis said, you should go to a bunch of other people that have a loss that they have to deal with. Cut to, it's the cast of Home Improvement. And it was so much fun, such an alarm, because I shouldn't say old school. Here we are again. We're doing live audience, so they had to hide the home improvement people from the audience when we got in there. It was just an amazing occurrence to see. I still see Richard Karn quite a bit, and Debbie Dunning on golf tournaments. I don't see Pat that much. I don't see the boys that much, and to bring that into this world is, I love the way Disney thinks and ABC thinks, and it was a beautiful moment for that, and all dealing with loss, and it was fun. Well, the scene says it all.
Talk a little more about working with Jen Elfman.
I've known her career, and then she's an absolute number one. She's a dance instructor, and she's also a dancer, and that's how we get connected kind of optically. And then she's an absolute brilliant comic actor. Listens to, and it's hard to describe. Kat Denning's the same way. These are very professional actors, and I said, and it's hard to, when they're that good, like Pat Richardson, same way. They're so good, it seems like I'm actually listening to them in a scene, and she's like that.
Okay, but you're still doing stand-up. You're still doing stand-up. You have some gigs lined up, don't you?
I wish I could remember Boise, Idaho, and something else. They're coming up in January after we finish this season. And stand-up to me is still, I don't like traveling as much as I used to. I don't like I still do my own suits, iron my own clothes.
You iron your own clothes?
Still doing it. I do my own suits when I do. I've just been doing it for 40 years, and I said, I'm not like my pal Leno. Leno is out on the road still all the time, and neither one of us actually need to do this. I love stand-up. Richard Pryor, I used to see him in concert and changed my life that kind of a...
What is it about stand-up, that live audience like
It's
that?
a gift to be able to make people laugh and turn, no matter what day you're into it. And I said, Pryor changed, I was in college, I saw him live, and I said, man, if I could, it was such a gift that he gave. And I said, if I could ever learn how to do that, we became buddies, and I've nowhere near as talented as he was, but that gift, being able to look at an audience and change the mood that they're in, isn't just a gift.
Yeah. Well, you are a gift that just keeps on giving. You
I'm
really
old.
are.
I'm an old guy. No, I got that. Robin, I got that. I've been doing this a long time, people, and I can barely get up without help. Where is my walker? Is my walker here?
Gold. Your TV gold. We got to let you know the new season of Shifting Gears premieres Wednesday, 8, 7 Central here on ABC and streams the next day on Hulu. We love you, Tim.
Love you, too.
Was it something we said we can clear a room? We can clear a studio.
All those age jokes.
Have a great day, everybody.